World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, engulfed the globe from 1939 to 1945. It was a war of unprecedented scale and brutality. Millions perished, entire cities lay in ruins, and the world was forever changed. This war was a clash of ideologies, a struggle for power, and a testament to the human capacity for both good and evil. In this brief journey, we will explore the key events and figures that shaped this monumental conflict. Join us as we remember the sacrifices made and reflect on the lessons learned from this dark chapter in human history. At its heart were two opposing alliances, the Axis powers, led by Germany, Italy, and Japan, and the Allies, spearheaded by Great Britain, the United States, and the Soviet Union. The war witnessed some of the most significant battles in military history, from the air war over Britain to the brutal fighting on the Eastern Front. The consequences of World War II were profound and far-reaching. Millions perished, including countless civilians caught in the crossfire. The war left Europe in ruins and reshaped the global political landscape. The legacy of World War II continues to shape our world today. To understand the causes of World War II, we must first travel back to the aftermath of World War I. The 1919 Treaty of Versailles, intended to bring peace, instead sowed the seeds of future conflict. Germany, blamed for the war, faced harsh penalties. They lost territory, were burdened with crippling reparations, and their military was severely restricted. This fueled resentment and instability in Germany. The economic consequences of the war were devastating. Hyperinflation gripped Germany, wiping out savings and creating widespread poverty. The global economy was in turmoil, leading to unemployment and social unrest. This created fertile ground for extremist ideologies. Politically, Europe was fractured and weak. New nations emerged from the ruins of empires, but many were unstable. The League of Nations, created to prevent future wars, lacked the power to enforce its decisions. The stage was set for a new conflict, one that would engulf the world in an even greater catastrophe. In the turmoil of 1920s Germany, a charismatic and ruthless leader emerged, Adolf Hitler. A decorated veteran of World War I, Hitler was deeply affected by Germany's defeat and humiliation. He joined the small and fringe National Socialist German Workers' Party, known as the Nazi Party, and quickly rose through its ranks. Hitler possessed a powerful and dangerous combination, a talent for oratory and a deeply warped worldview. He tapped into the anger and resentment felt by many Germans, blaming the Jews, communists, and the Treaty of Versailles for their woes. The Nazi Party, initially a fringe group, gained popularity during the Great Depression. Through a combination of propaganda, intimidation, and political maneuvering, Hitler and the Nazi Party seized control of Germany in 1933. The world watched with growing apprehension as Hitler consolidated his power and embarked on a path of rearmament and territorial expansion. With each passing year, Hitler grew bolder. He rebuilt the German military, defying the Treaty of Versailles. He annexed Austria in 1938, a move met with little resistance from other European powers. Emboldened, Hitler set his sights on the Sudetenland, a region of Czechoslovakia with a large German population. In a last-ditch effort to avert conflict, Britain and France, led by Neville Chamberlain and Édouard Daladier, met with Hitler in Munich in September 1938. The result was the infamous Munich Agreement, a pact that ceded the Sudetenland to Germany in exchange for Hitler's promise of peace. Chamberlain returned to Britain declaring peace in our time. It would prove to be a hollow promise. In March 1939, German forces occupied the rest of Czechoslovakia, shattering any illusions that Hitler could be trusted. On September 1, 1939, Hitler unleashed his forces on Poland. The invasion of Poland marked the beginning of World War II. Britain and France, honoring their commitments to Poland, declared war on Germany 2 days later. Section 5. A World at War, Key Battles and Turning Points. The early years of the war saw a string of stunning German victories. Poland fell swiftly, followed by Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium and France. By the summer of 1940, only Britain stood defiant against the Nazi juggernaut. Hitler's blitzkrieg, a strategy of lightning-fast attacks using tanks and aircraft, proved devastatingly effective. The Battle of Britain, fought in the skies over England in the summer and fall of 1940, was a pivotal moment in the war. The Luftwaffe, Germany's air force, launched relentless attacks on British cities and airfields. The Royal Air Force, though outnumbered, fought back with courage and determination. The Battle of Britain marked the first major setback for the Nazi war machine. In June 1941, Hitler made a fateful decision. He launched Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. The vastness of Russia and the tenacity of the Soviet people would prove to be his undoing. The Battle of Stalingrad, a grueling 6-month siege, marked a turning point in the war. Section 6. The Shadow of Genocide, the Holocaust. Amidst the horrors of World War II, a separate horror unfolded, the Holocaust. Driven by a racist ideology that deemed Jews and other minorities inferior, the Nazi regime systematically murdered 6 million Jews and millions of others in a campaign of unparalleled barbarity. The Holocaust stands as a stark reminder of the depths of human depravity. The Nazi regime established a network of concentration camps and extermination camps across Europe. Jews were rounded up and deported to these camps where they were subjected to unimaginable cruelty. The Holocaust serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers of intolerance, hatred, and unchecked power. Section 7. Turning the Tide, D-Day, and the Fall of Germany. By 1944, the tide of war had turned. The Soviet Union was pushing back the Germans in the east, while the Allies prepared for a massive invasion of France. On June 6, 1944, D-Day, Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, France, in the largest amphibious invasion in history. D-Day marked the beginning of the liberation of Western Europe from Nazi rule. The fighting in France was fierce, but the Allies, bolstered by fresh troops and supplies from the United States, gradually pushed back the German forces. Paris was liberated in August 1944, and the Allies continued their advance into Germany. As Allied forces closed in on Berlin, Hitler's regime crumbled. On April 30, 1945, Hitler committed suicide in his bunker in Berlin. Germany surrendered unconditionally on May 7, 1945. Section 8. The Pacific Inferno, from Pearl Harbor to Hiroshima. The Pacific War was characterized by brutal island-hopping campaigns and fierce naval battles. The United States, under the leadership of General Douglas MacArthur and Admiral Chester W. Nimitz, waged a relentless campaign to defeat Japan. By 1945, Japan was on the verge of defeat, but its leaders refused to surrender. Faced with the prospect of a costly invasion of Japan, President Harry S. Truman made the decision to use atomic bombs. On August 6, 1945, an American B-29 bomber dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima, Japan. 3 days later, a second atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki. The devastation caused by the atomic bombs was unimaginable, killing hundreds of thousands of people instantly, and leaving a legacy of radiation sickness and environmental damage. On August 15, 1945, Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's surrender. World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, was finally over. Section 9. A New World Order Legacy and Lessons of World War II. The legacy of World War II is complex and far-reaching. The war had a profound impact on the course of human history, shaping the world we live in today. It left a legacy of death and destruction, but also of resilience, innovation, and a renewed commitment to international cooperation. The war led to the deaths of an estimated 40 to 85 million people, leaving countless others wounded, displaced, and traumatized. It devastated economies, shattered empires, and redrew the political map of the world. In the aftermath of the war, there was a widespread desire to prevent such horrors from ever happening again. This led to the creation of the United Nations in 1945, an international organization dedicated to maintaining international peace and security. The war also had a profound impact on science and technology. As we remember the sacrifices made during this tumultuous period, let us strive to build a more peaceful and just world for future generations.